Hello there, welcome back to another video. Just catch me reading up on my perch. This is the biggest fish of all perch book. Absolutely fantastic book. I've already read it once and I'm back into reading it again for a second time. Anyway, let's get on with the video. How have you all been? It's been a while since I've seen you. Let's pop this down for a minute. Yeah, so it's been a little while since I've seen you guys. What have I been up to really? Not too much, unfortunately. It's been really pants weather. As some of you guys know who fishing in the UK now. We've had numerous storms. We've had, obviously, Christmas. Numerous storms. We've had really bad rainfall. The rivers have been up high. Lots of flooding. The weather's been really weird in terms of temperature-wise. And, yeah, so getting out on the bank, as well as obviously personal things and personal life coming into play, it's been quite difficult for myself personally. So let's get started on this particular video, and I've got a few clips to show you and a few sessions to show you. The first one is the Pike match. Now the Pike match takes place, it's a place called Monk Lakes down in Kent. It's where we tend to do a lot of our meetups, and it's a commercial fishery, so it's very easy for us to get to. It's got very good pike fishing down there. There's lots of lakes with lots of pike in them. Plenty of fish for everybody. And it's a fantastic venue. I love fishing there myself. And yeah, we managed, I say we, me and Keith, we were both very busy leading up to the Christmas period in terms of getting time off. So Monk Lake tend to have a pike match once a year, just before Christmas, a couple of days before Christmas, and for the third year in a row we couldn't manage to do it, and I was a little bit gutted, but Kelly and Ted, so Kelly and Ted Crush, the lovely couple that I normally fish with, they managed to make the pike match. They do it every year, and this year they decided to enter it again. Now, eventful times in previous years. Kelly has been very close to winning it. Not once, but twice. She came runner-up. And, yeah, let's just say... Well, let's not say. Let's roll the footage and we'll speak again afterwards and tell me what you think.
So, we are here at the Monk's Pike Fishing Competition. And it's going to be a big bad blank. This old guy earlier, he was fishing over on that causeway that comes out. I'm just to the side of that now. I was fishing the other side of it, and then at 9:30 he come over in his barrow, and I was like talking to him, and I was like, oh yeah, I was gonna go up there in a minute. He was like, oh, I'm just about to go up there. I was like, oh, that's alright. I said, I'll just carry on, you go up there. Fucking had that 20 pounder, didn't he? But I was so happy for him because he's really cute and old, and he's just like couldn't stop smiling. He's so happy, so really made up for him. But I think it'll be the winning fish because just nothing's really coming out. So a few, like the biggest I think after that is 11 pound that's come out of mallard, and then that guy had that out of bridges. Ted had a couple of small fish out of mallard, and Ted's up to just over 10 pound in weight. But no jacks at all. Like, I don't know why they've switched off completely. Usually you can make your weight up really well with jacks, but doesn't seem to be any jacks coming out. So yeah, we got a couple of hours left, so we just keep trying. I'm not wobbling smart anymore. I'm just 2 dead baits now, just to see if we can try and get something out, but gotta be in it to win it.
Right, we're live down at Monk Lakes. We've got the Pike Hunter competition is just literally finished. 5 minutes towards the whistle, get a phone call from Kelly Crush. She's got quite a unit in the net. Now, up to this point, up until this point, the biggest fish was 20 pound. This is going to be close again to the wire, right at the dying death. Kelly was actually runner-up last year. The biggest weight so far, as I say, is £20, 10 ounces. The scales are zeroed, ready to go. This is going to be a moment of truth. Jordan, can you?
Oh, I think it's going to be about 19. It's about do you think? We can't know food. 21.8. It's cat this
We'd be honest about the size and people moan about that.
It's a long way over.
What is it?
£25. We'll get some photos, right, that's some photos.
Right, so the official weight of that fish is £25 on the nose. Bless her, she was close in the first year of the competition that we've done here. Last year she was runner-up, and she's just hit it on the dying death. How do you feel, Kelly?
I feel I can't believe it.
Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get a few pictures done. Yeah, she's finally done it. Yeah. Here we go.
Down to the wire or what?
To the wire.
God, I was literally joking about
In actual fact, I'm going to keep this filming just so you can see the size of this fish.
Believe that.
It's been a really hard day today. It's been mild. Normally this time of year we're worrying about the lakes freezing over. We're double temperatures here. As you can see, the river belt behind is flooded. We was limited to the lakes on their own, but yeah.
Where are we going to have this done?
I can't remember.
By the river. Just find a nice bit of grass.
Very happy people.
Ben's going to get his camera.
So we might as well do the presentation here, because first place goes to Kelly Crush.
Thank you.
And also takes the prize of £230 on top of that. So she's got a personal best.
Yep.
And she's taken the money.
I'm
Well done,
so
Kelly.
Happy. Thank you. What was it, Mark?
£25 on the nose.
That was literally last minute. It was.
Yeah. You'll have to send us the photos for this one, because this is going to be. Right, let me try and get the.
Look at this, Liz.
Never heard her say that before.
Oh my god. Right, I look a total mess, sorry.
Here we go.
We'll get it.
The winning fish. £25 on the nose.
Drop it down a bit, mate. Oh, I've got sunlight behind you.
It's a monster.
It's a real monster.
That is a beautiful fish, isn't it?
Do you want me to move if
Oh,
the
you
sun's
might
on
have
me?
to, because the sun's...
I've got the sun's good.
Is it
What's it
right?
like on the
Yeah,
camera?
Yeah, if you keep your head there,
Yep.
just behind you, the light, that's really good.
Size of the head on it.
It's a proper crop.
I wasn't talking about you, Kelly. I was talking about.
I'm so happy. I'm sorry, Chris.
That's alright.
Down for a sec.
the other side, so just put it in there.
I'm not going to catch a pike this
Well,
weekend.
we're going to get this pike back in the water. Yeah, it's been a challenging day, but it's been a good day. We've had 220s come out, one out of Mallard, one out of Bridges. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Different for this time of year, but I think most people have enjoyed it. I know there's been a few people that haven't managed to catch, but it's one of them things. At the end of the day, you know, sometimes they're just not up for the feeding. And on this occasion, I think about 7, 8 people out of the group of caught, so it hasn't been too bad. So yeah, anyway, we're gonna get this fish back, take some photos of it being released, and yeah, see you later, everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Babby, I've probably already seen on the Monks page, but I won! Finally! £25 exactly this pike weighs, and it is horrendously heavy. So thank you very much, beautiful girl. And yeah.
And Keith and Dan. Don't forget Keith and Dan.
Oh, yeah. But Barry's,
That's all right.
Barry's excited.
Yeah, Barry's excited.
Like 25 pounds. She's ready to go. Show you the depth of the fish. It's absolutely huge. Beautiful.
You don't want to let it go.
I don't want to let it go. I know. There she goes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. What can one say? Absolutely unbelievable. I was buzzing when I saw the news come through. I was actually on my way to work, and I saw the event starting to unfold on Facebook and private messaging and that, and I just could not believe it. I was absolutely, it was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. As you saw, it was literally down to the wire. It was down to the wire. Ted and Kelly, they was fishing all different sorts of methods, mainly wobbling, trying to, as Kelly said, build up the jacks to try and make her winning weight. She's become so close before. She was 10 minutes, I think, from the first year of winning it. And then last year, she was runner-up. It was just, she puts her heart and soul into it. One thing I can say about Kelly, I call her the machine, like the Terminator. She's when she goes fishing, she's so driven and so focused in her mind. She has fun with it, like everybody, but she just wants to catch. And Keith's a little bit like that as well. And I think it's lovely to see. It can't help but filter on to yourself, you know. And I couldn't have been more better. And as you can see, Barry was excited. No, we don't leave, you know, Keith and Dan out of anything, but I was really excited. I was sending messages back, so she was making like a little video and sort of mentioned me in it. It was fantastic. I was just buzzing. I was absolutely buzzing. What can you say? Down to the last 4 minutes of the competition, not having anything, using your intuition, and then end up winning it with a 25-pounder, which is a new PB for her. Absolutely buzzing for her. I mean, she's had some awesome barbel as well this year, as well as Ted. And as you can see, Bex Nelson and Ben was there as well. Very close mates to Kelly and Ted. Lovely people. I met them in a couple of sessions time. We'll talk about it in a moment. Absolutely, I was buzzing for them. Really buzzing for them. And as you can see, they was over the moon, excited from the willing celebration, shall we say. Absolutely fantastic. I'd love to have been there to see the events unfold, but like I say, I was on my way to work, and it was all folding out on social media and also in private messages. I couldn't have been more pleased for her. I really couldn't. She worked very hard for that fish, and also to win that competition. Fantastic. What can you say? What can you say? Great scenes, lovely footage. Just want to say a special thank you to Monk Lakes and for those capturing the for the footage. Absolutely fantastic. absolutely brilliant. So yeah, since then I haven't got out. I think I'd done one lure session, which I didn't film. I blanked. It was very, very cold, very windy. I was only there for a matter of an hour or so. There was no one else on the lake. This was on my local ponds. It's the only real place I can go do a bit of lure fishing that's close to home. And yeah, it just got the better of me. I was using big jerk baits and big swim baits, shallow moving ones, because it's fairly shallow, weedy water. Didn't even get no follows or anything like that, so I was a little bit gutted. Headed home, didn't really film too much because there was not really too much or anything to show you really. And yeah, a little bit gutted, and that was my only sort of session through January really, towards the end of January. Now, I think it was around the middle of January, we did have a perch session planned. Me and the guys, so Kelly, Ted, myself, Bex, Ben, Keith, Dan. It's very unusual for us to all get the same time off together. We've really got to plan it to make sure at least the 7 of us can get there together. Now, a little bit gutting, sorry about the sirens. Every time I make a video, I live in southeast London, always get police sirens outside on the main road. So yeah, we all had a little perch session planned, which unfortunately didn't happen. We had to call it at the last minute, the 23rd hour. We had to call it off. We just couldn't do it. I was gutted, absolutely gutted. And it's unusual for me to do a different species other than pike through the pike season. I just tend to focus 100% on pike, but we wanted to do something a little bit different, and yeah, perch was the order of the day, which we would have done. So we never end up going. Just 2 of Kelly's friends, catfish anglers, they ended up going, who was meant to be meeting us there. They ended up going, having a couple of small fish. Well, I say small fish up to over £1 pound, a couple of roach and perch and that. So they braved the weather because it was literally storm. It was the start of all the storms and the really heavy downpours. It would have been muddy and sodden, and the grass and all that. It just wasn't the one. So for Ted and Kelly to actually say, nah, enough's enough, they that's a big thing, because they do some of the sessions I see them fishing, they fish in really sort of wallow in mud. So they really are hardcore anglers compared to me, who's a bit of a fair weather fisherman. But yeah, they so we called it off, and we wanted to postpone it for another session. Now, we did have that session planned, but we also had another session planned for pike at the end of January. The last couple of days before January, we was going to do a day session back down on the complex, and we was going to try the Specimen Lake for a change. Normally we fish either the river or the standard lakes for the pike, the big old lakes. There's 2 of them there called Bridges and Puma. We decided to fish the Specimen Lake. Little did I know the quality of the fish that were in there. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, we decided to give that a go. On that particular day, again, we managed to get the whole crew together, which was very lucky. It was Ted, Kelly, myself, Keith, Dan's friend Steve, who I've never met, really lovely guy. He's in the next section, and Bex and Ben as well, which was really nice. It was the first time that I met Bex and Ben for the first time, other than speaking to them on social media for quite a few years, and absolutely lovely people. So we decided to get together, do this pike session, and watch the video and tell me what you think.
Finally!
Oh mate, it looks alright actually.
Quite
Oh
nice
yeah.
fish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice fish. Let me land it.
Yeah, Steve, you're right.
I'll land it for you. He's a nice one, mate. Oh, on. Oh, yeah, he's a cracker. Well done, mate. Lovely.
Oh.
We've woken up now. Oh. No, we've woken up now.
Yeah. He's like, my mate's in there.
Yeah.
Well done, Barry. Happy?
Hey! Can't believe that. Might have a double whammy there.
Yeah.
Unreal. Lovely.
Yeah. What we got then?
Just under
11. I'll give you 11 for that.
11,
Yeah, 11. Yeah, yeah.
Lovely.
Cool.
Alright, let's pop him in. Let him have another rest. Yours is 13 odd.
13, yeah.
Lovely.
Right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
It's got growth in its tail, this one.
Yeah, little red one, eh?
Come on, move your tail out. Yeah, I'll use the other one.
There we go.
There we go, predator anglers. Double whammy. What's your one, Ted?
13.
13 pounder and mine's 11. And we've only been here for what, 45 minutes if
Yeah,
that?
not long, not long.
Absolutely fantastic. So over the moon, double whammy at the same time. Never seen that. Look at the gut on your one, man.
Massive,
It's
isn't
a
it?
proper fish.
The colours
Little
and
head,
the tail's
little head,
beautiful.
little fins, massive belly.
Colours are awesome, aren't they, Kel?
Oh, really, really pretty.
So there's some bigger fish than this where we're fishing as well. As you'll see at the start of the video, or as you've seen at the start of the video. Fantastic. So we're going to get these little beauties back, and yeah, fantastic. Hopefully we get a few more.
Cool.
Lovely. So just going to release my one back. Lovely little fish. Write him up. This one was really feisty, so I don't think it's going to take too long before this one disappears actually. Let's just get his head down and keep him there ready. There we go. Oh, down into the deeps to salt. Fantastic. Wicked. So, little update time guys. So it's 11 o'clock. I've not had the rods in for the last 2 hours. After I had my fish this morning and Teddy had his fish, I'll give it another sort of 15 minutes, half an hour, and I pulled the rods in. I'm going to have a rechuck in a moment. I've just got back. Basically, we're having a bit of a social at the moment, and I wanted to go around and see the guys. It was a bit of a quiet spell at the moment. A few little rods have gone off, and Teddy sort of set up her little wobbling rods while we was around there, cast it out for Bex to use, and he had a take straight away, like a little nip on it. I think because they've got the whole side of one side of the bank, which I'll show you a little bit later, but they've got the whole side of that bank. You've got Bex, Ben, Teddy and Kelly are in a bit of a line just in front of me to the left, and then you've got Keith and Dan are a little bit further up. They're socialising together. Like I say, I wound my rods in when I went round. Obviously I'm not going to leave my rods in, I'm too far away from the rods. And then you got Dan's friend Steve, I think his name is. He's just sort of roving around with one rod at the moment, trying different swims. He's got a lure rod as well, so he'll probably give it a bit of a wobble later at the same time. I've noticed, I'm just watching the guys now, they're starting to wobble baits, and I think some of them are going to go on a little bit of a wander. I'm going to stay putting the swim, and I can see Dan's actually moved slightly around the lake now, so everybody's having a bit of a move. I've had my little hour and a half, 2 hours social with the guys to have a little chat with them and stuff. We had a right laugh and a right giggle. It's really nice to meet Bex and Ben finally in person. Lovely, lovely people. I can see why, you know, Ted and Kelly get on very well with them, and I've been talking to Bex over social media for a few years now actually, before I even met Ted and Kelly. And yeah, it's like one little family. It's brilliant. I just love this little vibe we've got going on at the moment. It's brilliant. It's nice to have like-minded friends, and especially people that you get on with and you can sort of say anything you want, you know, even down to toilet humour, and you can have a laugh about it. It's brilliant. So it's a nice little social on this bank. It's a shame that we didn't have it was sort of 36-hour session and was all bivvied up and that. It would have been brilliant. Could have had a right little barbecue on the go in the evening. However, it's really windy, and I hope you can hear me with this wind noise possibly, but the weather is so mild. It's like 11-12 degrees at the moment, and it's southwesterly I think, and it feels really nice. It's really nice. So the good thing about not fishing in my swim after having my fish and going to sit with them, is then left my swim alone again to quieten down. So I'm hoping if I put some rods out now where I had them before in the margins, then I may get a take. Now I'm fishing, I'll show you where I'm fishing in a little while, and I'll show you the sort of setup I'm fishing. It's very straightforward, very standard ledger type setup today. I fancy just kicking back. I've got a nice new chair again, I'll show you that a little bit later as well. And yeah, just sitting on 2 dead baits on the bottom at the moment, but I may pop one up a little bit later on, and again I'll show you the rig for that. And yeah, fingers crossed we can have a couple of fish, because it's really good at the moment. It's really good, and I'm really enjoying today, and it's been a real good social, and I just love meeting up with the guys. It's brilliant. I love fishing on my own, but meeting up with the guys is brilliant. And they've all ended up with a London Predator angler hat. This is the new version. I've had the stitching done a little bit different. Baseball caps as well. So yeah, it's brilliant. I'm just loving it at the moment. It's just a shame we couldn't all fish together a bit closer, but just watching them wobbling now is fantastic. I'll give you a little show. Let me switch the camera around, turn it off, and I'll give you a little show. As you can see across the road, across the lake round the corner on the opposite bank to me, you can see Bex is actually doing a little bit of wobbling at the moment. I'm assuming they're using smelt. That's what they normally use. It'd be fantastic if she bent into one right now, under the guidance of Kelly. You see Ben there as well. And she's just giving it some little sweeps and little movements to try and induce the fish to take. You're not allowed to spin on this water. This is a specimen lake on a complex that we fish down in Kent. Monk Lakes, you may have heard of it. And this is the specimen lake. And Kelly and Ted and Keith, they love wobbling. And like I say, you're not allowed to spin, but you are allowed to wobble dead baits. Now you must have also monofilament line. And yeah, you're not allowed to fish braid. So that's what Kelly and Bex are doing over there at the moment. I think Kelly's rigging her rod up to do the same. You can see she's got a smelt. Smelt's probably one of my favourite wobbling baits. And believe it or not, lampreys are actually a very good wobbling bait. But what you need to do with lamprey is you need to, if you cut it in half and use half a section of lamprey, use the tail section, and then you need to cut. You need to the bit where it's been cut, you need to bind that with something so the water can't get in, and then sort of standard treble snap, snap trebles, 2 trebles into the bit where it's been cut, and then it's almost like a flappy eel. It's like the real eel from Savage Gear. When you cast it out and the tail goes, it's an awesome trick. I seen Mick Brand do years ago. But I think they're using smelt, and again, trout's another good one for wobbling. Some people use roach, but I find roach very difficult to stay on the hook. So yeah, that's what those guys are up to. Like I say, let me get my rods back out. Or actually, what I could do is I'll just show you the basic setup before I put the rod out, and you can see what I'm using, and I'll show you how to set the rods up. So I'll cast one rod out, and then I'll bring you back again, and I'll show you what I'm doing on the other rod. And then maybe a little bit later on, as I said, I'll probably stick a popped up dead bait out. So yeah, I'll bring you back in a sec.
Yeah, Keith's in. Snatch at it. No, come back here. Yes. Boom. Well done, mate. That's Keith. Keith's off the mark. Nice colours, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, it's done.
£6.
Yeah, £6.
Lovely. Nice one. We're in.
Just had this little one wobbled as well from the same swim as I just had that other one. I think this one's going to win the world's smallest.
And the world's liveliest.
What you got there then?
Not only has it got me there, it's got me figured everything.
There then, done.
Yeah, little pike.
Beauty.
I'll bring
Just
some
having a
weight
little
scales,
wobble
mate. 2
and
secs.
have this nice one. I think it's about
Lovely, we'll be over in a
£6.
sec. I knew you would.
Happy
Bloody
days.
git. Right, see you in a sec. Hang on.
What?
Oh, I forgot to take a photograph, haven't I?
Oh, Beck's done it. She
I
can
did
see it
it.
in the group now.
Oh, good. All right.
Who's got a fish?
Steve might have a 20.
Up a 20?
He might have. He ain't got nothing to weigh with.
Nice one, Kelly.
Absolute chunk of a fish, man. It's giving you a beat up now.
Yeah, certainly going.
Come on, get back on it.
Yeah, I want to get you back in. I wanna get back on.
Cannonball, that is a lump. 21.5 pounder. Beautiful fish.
Go on, open up. Put your hand in.
Your finger up his barrel, right? It normally works for me.
Trust you, Dan. Awesome,
Beautiful.
awesome fish. Well done, my friend.
Thank you very much, guys. Spot on start today on a perch rod.
Yeah, on a perch rod as well.
Yeah, £1 perch rod.
You've been roving around with one rod, we're all sitting there with 2 rods, and you have that 21.5 pounder. So just going to do the release on the fish. Absolute chunk. There she goes.
Baby.
Goes down to the sulk.
To live another day.
Yeah, she's a beast. Well done, my friend.
again when you got 30 pounds.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Well done.
Top man.
Quality start to the day.
Wicked. Well, you never know. Might have another one.
220s in a day, that'd be awesome.
That would be quality. 220s in a day, you imagine. Oh, it's just got blowy. So it's nearly 12 o'clock. I've just done that little update, show you how I set up my ledger alarms and what I do to sort of do my basic style of ledger fishing. And just as I finished that, I had a shout from Ted, who come running past me saying that Dan's mate Steve, again you'll see the footage already, had a big 20 in the net. So I was on my way round. I had reeled my rods back in. I was just on my way up, and then they obviously brought the fish closer to me, so I met them halfway because they're not that far up on the bank from me. And then we weighed it on my unhooking mat and everything, and it went 21.5 pound. Absolutely beautiful fish, 21.5 pound. What I noticed about the fishing in, they're not very long fish. They're like torpedoes. They're fat as anything, and they're really beautifully marked. This has now become my new favourite pike venue. Not just this complex. I love fishing the other lakes, as I always have, but it's the first time I've fished this specimen lake, and unbelievable. I just want to say I hope you're getting me on the camera with this wind noise. Unbelievable. I'm buzzing. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. So excuse me, I'm a little bit cold at the moment. I've got a little bit of indigestion. I've not even eaten anything. I think it's just because I'm nervous and excited. So yeah, we've done a little bit. Excuse me. We've done a little bit for you to camera, as you saw, or about to see, whatever order I put the footage in. And yeah, Steve had a 21.5 pounder, and it was like a torpedo. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. I knew that there was some big fish in here. I didn't know to the stamp that they were. I mean, Kelly had a 25 from here. There's supposedly bigger fish in here, but there's a fair few fish. The guys have been wobbling, as I showed you earlier on. But anyway, I'll put my phone on airplane mode, because that's what I'm filming on at the moment. I'm not using my video camera, I'm using my phone. I was filming on airplane mode, so I switched off the airplane mode to see what messages I had. And lo and behold, in our group chat, because we've got a bit of a group chat for the London Predator Angler on the go at the moment, I absolutely love it. Good bands backwards and forwards. And Kelly and Keith have had a fish as well on the opposite side of the bank, which I didn't even know about. It's probably doing it. They probably caught their fish while I was filming. The ledger rods, me setting up the ledger rods. So yeah, nice fish. I'm sure I'll let you know in a little while how they caught them, what size they were, if they actually weighed them at all. I haven't had a chance to speak to Kelly and Keith yet, so I'll let you know how we got on with that. And what's funny is we still got another 4 hours, so we're only halfway through the session. So fingers crossed, you know, 120's been bagged already.
I'll be over the moon if I can have another double. But to have I was told that the fish are better stamping. I'm not saying there's no jacks in here. There are obviously jacks in here, but the stamp of fish in terms of pike are really good quality. Yeah, and like I say, this has become my new favourite day ticket venue, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to be pushing to come on here. It's not cheap, it's quite expensive. It's £25 for 12 hours. But I suppose that's what most places are nowadays. On the other lakes, they're £14.50 or £15 for 12 hours. So I suppose you get what you pay for. Gives you a chance to catch a big fish. I'm not saying you can't catch, you know, upper doubles and 20s out the other lakes, but in here, it's a slightly smaller lake. It's catfish in here and carp, but the pike are very big as well. Unbelievable. I'm speechless, don't really know what to say. So that's 5 fish so far, plus obviously takes on wobbled baits as well. Incidentally, I'm sure you'll see it in the footage, or when I put the footage up, or you've already seen it, that he had that fish on a 21 pounder on a perch rod, a pound, just over a pound test curve rod, and he fished it at half depth, and he saw the float go straight away. So yeah, maybe I'll give it another hour and then prepare a pop-up rig and put a pop-up out there. You know, if he's caught that in half depth, maybe they'll come off the bottom to feed. I think that's a good shout. So I'm just going to sit back because I've not really sat down for 2 minutes. I've literally been up and moving around and doing things. I'm going to sit back for half an hour, 15 minutes, and I'm going to start thinking about putting one of the rods on to pop up. So here we are. It's 3:15. We're meant to be off at 4:30, and quite a few fish have been caught off the fishery today. Not so much the fishery, off this lake, which we've occupied. So quite surprised, being a Friday. It's quite mild, even though it's a bit blowy now. Thought there would be some carp anglers turning up, and maybe they will a little bit later for the weekend. So yeah, we've had the lake to ourselves, which has been fantastic. Just watching Keith float now, just to the right hand side of me out of shot. He's had a couple of drop runs, Keith. I had a drop run again on mackerel on the bottom. My pop-up hasn't given any indication as of yet, which is a bit of a shame. I thought if anything out of the two would have been the pop-up. It's fishing probably around the 2 foot mark off the bottom in about 4 to 5 foot of water. And that's just out here beyond these margin reeds. Just to the left hand side is where I had my fish earlier on. That was on the bluey on the bottom, and now I've got a bluey popped up, as you saw earlier on when I mounted it. So yeah, the right hand rod, quite a funny bite actually. Lovely pull off. We've got up, undone the bail arm, pulled the drop off to feel for a bite, see if it's starting to run, see if the line was carrying on running. And as I did that, the line got caught in the delkim on the left hand side, and then as I wound down, I didn't see that happen, as I wound down and went to strike, all the line was caught around the left hand delkim, because it was a right hand rod that went off. So I don't know what really happened there. It was my own fault, acting a bit like a noddy, I suppose. And yeah, so yeah, we're still getting runs, still getting takes. You know, like I say, Keeps fishing to the right hand side of me. He's had 2 takes, I've had 1 take. I think Dan's had a couple of takes. I haven't seen him most of the day. He's been down the bottom end of the lake, right over the back, and he's had a couple of takes. Kelly's been probably half the day walking up and down wobbling on the other side of the lake as well, so I haven't seen her for the last sort of couple of hours. I think she's just turned up back over in the swims over there where Bex and Ben are fishing, and Teddy, her husband. So yeah, between the 8 of us, we've had quite a few fish today. It's a shame not everybody caught. That's how the cookie crumbles, I suppose. You know, it's usually me that's not catching, so it makes a change that I've had a fish. Probably going to do another half an hour, 45 minutes max, start packing down. I think we're going to put all the stuff in the car, and I think we're going to head out and maybe go and have a quick drink and have a quick chat amongst ourselves. Maybe I'll bring you back for that, if we actually do that or not, or we may decide to drive home. But consensus at the moment looks like we may pop down the local for a quick pint before we have to rush back and just chat about today and maybe some future plans fishing wise. So it's been a really lovely day. I'm not saying this is the end of it, because we may get a fish between now and then, Kelly looks like she's off again, wobbling in the distance with her wobble rod. And yeah, I decided to fish the ledges today, do something that I don't do too often nowadays. Most of my pike fishing is fishing with floats, really. As you know, I'm a bit of a float lover, a bit of a float connoisseur. Love watching the float go, but occasionally it's nice hearing the alarms go. And also, fishing alarms, you know, it's pros and cons really with them. You know, you can take your eyes off the ball a little bit and let the alarms fish themselves. You can fish on the bottom, which makes it a lot easier to give a presentation when you've got a crosswind like it is at the moment. Floats can be all over the place and so on and so forth. You know, if you're fishing off bottom, they'll just drift on the drift from left to right, so they can move your bait out of position. Unless, like I say, you're fishing on the bottom or a paternoster type rig. So you know, with floats and with ledgers, they have their days, the pair of them. I just personally believe that floats in general, multi-purpose use, and just watching a float goes, there's nothing quite like it. But today, like I say, we enjoyed the ledger alarm, and I've enjoyed, like I say, I've enjoyed everybody's company, but we've all been sort of flitting in between swims and chatting to each other and so on and so forth. I've wound my rods in and I've gone to other swims and had a chat with the guys, and looks like they're having a bit of fun on the bank over there. Don't know what they're doing, but yeah. So next time you see me, maybe another fish in my arms, or it might be just us having a bit of a laugh at the end of the day, maybe down the pub like I say, or in the car park before we leave, depending on what's going on. Alright guys, catch you in a bit. So last knockings, packing up, and well has had one. It's about £10. Another one. There you go, lovely fish, Keith. How big?
About 10, I reckon.
Last knockings though?
All 10.
Yeah, it's a good £9–10. It's got a bit of a belly on it. It's quite a short fish, but lovely all the same.
All have fat little bellies today, haven't they?
They certainly have. So, there we go. Last fish of the session. Well done, Keith.
That does look nice.
Top man. Here he is. Alright, fella. Celebrate the last fish
Cheers
drink.
everyone, Team LPA.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Lovely. We got there. Whee. So, when we going again? Tomorrow. I wish. No, it's a good. It was good. It was a good little social, and really enjoyed it. And hopefully we can get a couple next time we go. So where we going next? Fens? Xander?
I need to get Xander.
Well, you can go Berry Hill. The only problem with Berry Hill is, well, we know the problem with Berry Hill. Yeah. You can't fish the. You can't. Keith, you know how much you love Berry Hill.
Barry won't be able to get there. Fucking going there.
Last year, Keith did have one blank session. Oh yeah, they were very.
Oh yeah, 2019 was going to be every session,
Every session
not a blank
before.
until we went.
I know.
Yeah, you had a soft day on Barry.
So, absolutely fantastic session. I was over the moon. I was absolutely pleased. I'd never had such a great day, actually. It was a really, really nice social to get everybody together and some really big fish being caught from all around the lake to all of us, really. I think only a couple of us blanked, and it's just the way it goes, you know. It's normally me blanking, but I got very lucky with a lovely £13 fish. Sorry, £11 fish. £13 fish was Teddy's. Yeah, I had an £11 on the dot, and it was my first double of the season, and I was absolutely buzzing. You know, I know that 20-pounders were being caught and all that. You know, my time will come for that to happen, and yeah, I was over the moon. You know, Steve having that 21-pounder. You know, everybody caught loads of fish on the fishery to our team. We was very lucky to have the specimen lake to ourselves, which was fantastic. And yeah, it just turned out to be a really beautiful day, and it was just lovely to meet up with everybody. We had a nice beer at the end of the day, and we were just talking about future trips and stuff. And yeah, it was just one of those days that was perfect, and I absolutely enjoyed it. And long may it continue to the fact that we're going to do some more sessions together. Absolutely loved it, and I hope you enjoyed seeing it. It was really good. I hope the footage come out okay. So yeah, that was my main session really, the one I was pinning my hopes on to at least get a fish or two. But like I say, I managed to end up having that 11 pounder, and I was over the moon with it. Now, as I'm sitting here bringing these sessions to you, just showing you what's going on and what we've been up to, or what I've been up to, I have been continuing with the float making. Basically just working on Dan's floats for the moment. I've not been working on too much others. I'm winding down a little bit with the float making until the close season, when I won't get out as much, where my thoughts turn to perch fishing, and then I'll start to pick up a little bit more doing on the float building. So yeah, basically the weather's been sort of holding us back from getting out fishing as much as what we'd like to, and Ted, Dan and Kelly still braved the elements, and they were getting out. They live very close to a lot of good venues, and they decided to get out once again fishing, and they popped back to the Specimen Lake a few weeks later, and the inevitable had to happen, didn't it? So, you know, Kelly's had a nice 20 pounder from there, 25 pounder. Steve had a 22 pounder in the video, or 21 and a half if I remember rightly. So Dan went along with Ted and Kelly, and this is exactly what happened.
Dan's fish on to what he thinks feels like quite a heavy fish.
I'm gonna be like that old boy.
Give it 27 hours. Oh, shit. Oh, oh.
Look at that rod.
We might need a bigger net. It's a good one. Get a bit of underwater.
Finally, a fish that feels like a fish.
You was only saying this morning how your season hadn't been what you wanted it to be. So this is a position that they know well.
There's me, busy making a cup of tea.
I know, that's always the way, isn't it?
Go and get mine, it'll be amazing. Do you reckon it'll go in there?
It'll go in there.
It's deeping it off.
Oh, it's a beast!
Yes!
It's a beastie!
Oh, it is! Look at that head coming through the water.
Oh, Clive again!
Oh my god, it's huge, yeah, I reckon 100%.
Holy moly! Look at the
That's
box
bigger than a 20. That is a beast, Dan. How do you feel?
Oh, you can stick the lottery. This is much better.
Right, let's get this weighed up and then get this 20 plus weighed up.
Don't give a bunky about my hand. I don't want her to get hurt. Oh no. Right, where's my cutters? Because someone's going to have to cut these hook.
Behind you.
Oh, are they barbers?
One side is, yeah.
Careful,
I'll be
Ted.
able to cut it.
Well, cut that, yeah. Oh, don't give a fuck about that, man. Cut that barb off.
Which side?
That barb is sticking out. Chop
one?
that off, yep. That'll come off.
Operation
That's
Get
it.
the Fish Unhooked.
I reckon if I keep pressure on that, you'll be able to roll them out.
Alright then, cool.
Just watch your hands.
Careful, because it just turned and it cut my finger.
I'll do it.
So just be careful holding on to that, Ted.
You might have to go through the gill.
Yeah. Sodding left-handed,
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I'm left-handed. Let me hold that and you pull. That mouth, man.
Right, you get
That's it. That's
you
it.
pull it out.
That's it. Nice, yes. That's it, turn it. They should be barbless. Yes!
That's it.
Oh no.
Oh, no, really good.
They're not barbless, but who cares? We got it out.
And there was that rope.
He does it. Oh my god. I
Wow.
think
I think it's going to be about 20, 22.
Do you reckon it might
Yeah,
be a
I
PB?
don't know. I don't know. I can't. I'm not
£2.14
actually. I'm not.
on the thing,
£2.14.
on the sling. Do you want me to have a look first? It's dead on 23 in the sling.
So what does that make it? £2.14 off
20.
21.
No, £20. £20.
2.
Unless that's zeroed, unless they zeroed, let me just make sure they did. Oh, that's right.
Yes.
We're the bleeding club.
Exactly. So what did that say?
It's 20. Yeah, let have a look.
23.14. 23.12. 20.
It should.
Needs to stop, doesn't it?
It's all over the place. Because my hands are shaking.
Have you got a bar we can hold it with?
That's it. I'd just say
£24 dead.
24.
Yeah.
So it's £22.
That's alright, isn't it?
Amazing.
£22.
Woohoo! That is such a beautiful fish as well.
Do
Look
a
at the
swing
colours.
away one on this.
Yeah, definitely.
Look at her.
If you swivel your fingers round a bit, Dan. If you do
No
that.
banana hands,
That's
please.
it.
That is absolutely stunning. What a fish. Well done. Well done, that man. She's a beauty. Same spot where Steve had his, wasn't it? Round there.
Yep.
Don't make sure that's on there properly. Jesus. Is it on?
Tell me when you're ready.
You slip through it and open the sling up. You put the sling in there. Sorry, mate.
That's all. I was just going to move this like that.
Once you dig the front, it should slide out.
Oh, she's not hanging about.
Stupid bitch.
That would have been better over there. That's unfortunate.
No, I think you've got to come that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You might have got a bit of footage. Have a look when we get home.
And as you can see, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Dan goes and has it. Dan goes and has a £20, a £21 I think it was. Was it? I'm pretty sure it was £21. Unbelievable. So as you can see in the footage, they had trouble. The pike had taken a hook right on the top of the throat. So it took two of them with very calm and very measured approach to taking the hooks out. That's why it's always important to carry bolt cutters with you. Every time I go pike fishing, it's just not just the forceps. You know, you should never leave home without forceps when you're pike fishing, but also to take bolt cutters with you, because you never know when you need to cut that treble to make it easier for you to turn the hooks out. And what you're looking for is to work as quick as possible, but as calm as possible, because if you start to panic inside, you're not going to be able to get those hooks out. And as you saw, beautifully done by Dan and Ted, they took their time out. It was more important that the fish was looked after. They took their time, they worked on it, and they managed to get the hooks out perfectly. You know, if they have to go under the gill, through the gill, so long as you're very careful. You know, I've had to do things like that where I've been alone before. So to have two you doing it makes it a little bit more easier, but still, it's nerve-wracking every time you do it, and especially for a new person who's doing it. Dan, he's been fishing for 20 years. Ted, probably just as long, if not longer. They're both very experienced anglers, and I think it's a very good... it's very good to show you guys that that's exactly what they needed to do to unhook that pike. Sometimes you can't foresee exactly when a pike takes. I mean, Dan hit that fish straight away, but if a big pike like that tends to waft the bait in. There's nothing you can do, especially if you're float fishing and it comes up and sucks it in. You know, got a large cavernous mouth, and that's exactly what happened. So big full kudos to Dan and Ted for the unhooking on that. And like I say, I wanted to show it to you, but you can see he was over the moon. He's had a couple of 20s now this season. Dan, he's had 2 20s. Kelly's had two or three 20s this season. Ted, I think's in the upper doubles. So yeah, Ted's in the upper doubles, and you know, they're doing really well. And also with Keith, you know, Keith's had a PB of around £18. So you know, the crew's doing really well. I mean, there's quite a lot of 20s, as you can see in this video so far. So the only thing is, just no 20s fell to me, but it's just how it goes, really. I'm just enjoying the fishing for what it is, really, and I think it's fantastic, and I love spending time with the crew. Now, like I say, unfortunately, I've not been out on the bank other than that. It's just my one session with the guys, and then, like I say, I did a lure session, which went a bit pear-shaped. And that's it, really. So, yeah, we got some sessions we've got one big session planned coming up. It's a 36-hour session. It's at the end of the pike season. I've got 10 days off work. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I cannot wait to go fishing. I'm not a big fan of overnight fishing anymore, like I was when I was a kid, or youngster, should I say. Yeah, just looking forward to meeting up with the others, and hopefully, fingers crossed, and everything goes to plan, and I'll at least get one more double, a personal best, or even a 20 for the end of the season. But if I catch a 20, that's a bonus. But for me, a personal best, or at least a double, and say that I've had 2 doubles this season, I'll be happy, because to me, at the moment, in condition I am, it's very much welcome. So, yeah, like I say, we've had pants weather, and it's not been the best of winters for pike fishing, but with the guys going out and doing what they've done, they've held their own. So yeah, fantastic. So I want to say a massive thank you to Bex and Ben, so Bex Nelson and Ben Taylor, for being in the video and meeting them for the first time. I want to say for the rest of the crew, Ted, Kelly, Danny and Keith, I don't know where I'd be without you guys fishing with you. Fantastic crew, catch loads of fish, and yeah, looking forward to that session coming up. Keep your eyes peeled for it, and tight line and dead baits basically is all I want to say now. Tight line and dead baits. Oh, just before I go, there is going to be another video coming up, maybe next week. The session that we did with the social, it's a little clip section I've done of how I set up my ledger fishing, how I fish ledgers and pop-up. So it's a really basic video. It was done off the cuff. It's not polished. It's a little video for beginners that'll go up in the next. It'll be the next video to go up. I may even do a live. Coming up as well. I usually do a live every couple of months. So yeah, I'm going to do a live as well. So that's it for this video, unfortunately. So tight line and dead baits. Like, comment and subscribe. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. The links are going to be in the description below, but you can also go and check me out on the top right hand corner, and you can get to interact with me on social media. I spend most of my time on Facebook. That's what this channel supports, and I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's very understanding about time spent on the bank from me, but it's just the way things have to be at the moment. I'm hoping next season, 2019 and 2020 season, my pike season will be a lot better. I'm really looking forward to the warmer months to probably switch off from most of the predators and start to wind down and fish for the smaller species, the tench, the crucians, that kind of thing. And you never know, I might get into some eels and do a bit of eel fishing. I'll probably take my foot off the pedal for the cats this year, just for the fact that I've got an operation coming up, and the last thing I want to do is rupture any stitches or anything once I've had the operation, playing cats and lifting cats. So yeah, anyway, I just want to say again, tight line and dead baits, and I'll catch you all soon on the next video.